starting out in Chi-Town theater for you, did you find, did you have any sort of, I see myself here in 10 years. Do you have any of that kind of stuff?
Oh, hell no.
No, nothing?
Thankfully, I mean, I've always had sort of a mule's disposition, and part of it is because when I started in Chicago, I hadn't figured out yet how to perform decent acting on stage.
Right.
For real. I went through theater school at the University of Illinois, and I was really ignorant. I came from a small town that was a cultural vacuum, so I knew that I wanted to entertain people,
Right.
but I got to this theater school with all these Patrick Wilsons, these teenagers who had already performed Shakespeare's canon in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ugh, I can hammer a nail, and
Yeah.
And the good thing about theater is you need donkeys to carry Patrick Wilson on stage on a palanquin. And I'm like, cool, I'm number 3. I wear like a loincloth.
Right.
And my whole thing is like, and then I have a chorus part. And so I did a bunch of those, and it took me 3 or 4 years to figure out that simply I didn't understand that the most valuable thing as an actor was me, was what
Yeah.
warts and all, whatever I brought to the role. The most important thing I could do was naturally create the role with what I had.
Yeah.
I devalued what I had because I was I'm like a dumb farm boy with all these cool kids. So I spent a few years trying way too hard and acting really cool.
Right.
So instead of playing something naturalistically, I would play something extra fucking cool of like,
Right.
oh, what's up, man? You know.
Right.
And it just took me
Right.
a long time.
But then where did Kabuki fit into this? And that's not a joke, by the way.
No, wonderfully, at the University of Illinois, there was a professor, Shozo Sato, my sensei.
This is the most fantastic, literally, the only thing that I walked away with out of Fargo was, wait, you did Kabuki?
Did Kabuki. He taught Kabuki theater. He had a whole curriculum of Japanese arts. So he taught Zen meditation, tea ceremony, sumie black ink painting, ikebana flower arrangement.
You did these, right?
I did these, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
I'm so sorry, hang on.
There you go. It's better.
But his big thing was Kabuki theater, and he won awards for it in Chicago. He would take Shakespeare and Greek, epic plays and present them in the traditional Kabuki style, which if you don't know, you've probably seen those block prints of like samurais making faces like crazy faces. Kabuki means, it's ka, bu, and ki, and it means dance, voice, and acting. So it has this whole vocabulary. First of all, physically, if you walk like this, it means you're the general of the army, and you have all of these gestures. So anyone can play any role as long as you do the moves. If you're a cute 16-year-old princess, you walk like this, and everyone says, oh my God, you're so sexy, which, that's redundant. And also with your voice, if you're the princess or the old man or anything in between, it's all communicated through the different vocabularies. So we learned this, and we would do shows, and he was retiring.
It's unbelievable.
And because he was retiring, to celebrate his career, we toured a show through Japan, which was the first commercial flight I took, was Chicago to Tokyo nonstop. And everyone smoked on the whole plane. It's so surreal to think about now. But yeah, so I had some really good fortune at just sort of being shown the world.
Yeah.
And it took a shitload of that kind of input for me to just become acclimated to like dipshit level.
Yeah. But also being that stylized in your acting, because certainly being on stage, our main goal here, okay, are we grounded? Do we feel the earth and all that? Not to make light of that, but to me that seems that just sounds unbelievable. That means, like, do you feel like that informed, like, what the next role you did after that? Do you feel like that informed it?
No.
No.
I didn't have that wherewithal.
Oh, right.
But with the Kabuki training came life training.
Yeah.
And he took a shine to me again because I could carry heavy stuff. And so.
Yeah, but physically, you had it. You must have had it.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we got along in the work, but it became a key relationship where he began to have me come help him in his garden and like literally just carry shit home for him.
Right.
And in that, I became his disciple, and it was very Mr. Miyagi, where he was giving me these lessons, one of which, for example, was always maintain the attitude of a student for a happy life. It's that simple. Don't ever think you've become a master. Don't ever think you're done learning, because if you are always behaving like a student, then every day you wake up and you have something to accomplish, and that makes your day happy.
Right.
But if you wake up and you're like, I fucking know everything. When are they going to throw me a parade? Jesus Christ. Then you become bitter and unhappy. And so those life lessons.
Or you go into politics.
Yes, or you go into politics.